Hi guys, you are welcome to Real Talk with Landway, and I am your host Faith Owoshede. Happy New Year guys. I hope that this year has started really well for you all. Now on the show today, we will be talking about the right way to invest. Now 2020 has gone and it was a difficult year for all of us, and it's 2021. We are all trying to make better decisions for our lives, better financial decisions, and what exactly is the right way to go about this decision. On the show with me, I have wonderful people who are really knowledgeable about this topic, and they will be introducing themselves. Hello.
Hi guys, my name is Yvonne.
Hi guys, my name is Mark Onjola Olumide Julius.
My name is Tolu.
Thank you, Tolu. Alright, now that we'll all introduce ourselves, I just want to say quickly that in this age, this era, okay, we all know that savings isn't cutting it anymore and investment is the right way to go. But there are tons of ways that people feel that they can invest their money, right? We have examples of like Ponzi schemes that people just, oh, I can just put my money in there and I get my money back as fast as I can. Even though it's high risk, people always do it. And also Bitcoin that is now worth $36,000. One Bitcoin to $36,000. Like, what do you have to say? How will you put investment? How will you make investment right to people in a way that they can make the best decisions for themselves without having to go through Ponzi schemes, for example? Olumide.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Faith. It's my pleasure to be on this program this morning and having to talk about the right way to invest. We are just beginning the year, and I want to believe that a lot of people actually have different resolution for the year. A lot of people would want to have to invest their money into a different investment scheme. Now, first of all, when we talk about investment, you have to look at it from three major perspectives that has to do with the risk, the cash flows, and the return that you'll be getting. I know there are a lot of Ponzi scheme outside there, and aside that, there are also different legal means into which you can invest into, like top of stock, bond, mutual fund, real estate investment. But you know, I mentioned three things earlier. You look at the risk, the cash flows, and the returns. But when you look at it from the perspective of risk, you don't have to talk about Ponzi scheme such as the Bitcoin or betting, gaming pools, because when you look at those ones, it's so sure that once you put your money into it, you don't really you may not get any serious returns for it at the end of the day, and it's very risky. Like if you look at Bitcoin today, we are talking about is going on a higher rate on a daily basis. But the question you have to ask yourself is that, is there any government regulations on Bitcoin today? Because if you go to the CBN, whereby they determine the rate of a dollar on a daily basis, but for Bitcoin, there's nothing like that. So it's a very, very risky investment.
Yeah, and talking of high risk, for example, now the CEO of a really big Canadian cryptocurrency exchange just died, and they lost over 145 million in Bitcoin because no other person has access to that. Like, how exactly, like talking about risk level now, like you said, I'm just saying like that kind of situation, that's very risky. Like, how do people even plan to get returns for all the money that they invested in? Like, I was just chipping in from the risk that you were talking about. So you can go on.
No, I need to get a question very well, because you just made mention of someone who actually died from
I'm talking about risk level. You talked about risk level, yeah?
Yes.
So I was just citing an example. That's what I'm saying, so like you can carry on.
Okay, but I do have a question. I'm sorry about what you said. You said Ponzi schemes, right? And you mentioned Bitcoin as a part of Ponzi scheme. Would you really honestly say that Bitcoin classifies as a Ponzi scheme? Because when we say Ponzi scheme, first thing that comes to my head, top of mind, is MMM. And this other one that came after MMM, Loom, right? Bring this person, and you bring. I think the way Loom was, I don't know. I think Loom and MMM were working the same way. That you drop a certain amount of money, and you're supposed to get 3 times your money back or something. Some very unrealistic ROI, right? Yeah. So it was basically a money doubling scheme, right? So you bring your money, and then somebody is expected to send you money in 30 days. I don't know. See. I don't know, but can you really classify Bitcoin and a scheme like MMM or Loom in the same can you loop them together in the same umbrella?
Well, going by your question, for me, I mentioned something earlier that when you look at Bitcoin itself, Bitcoin has no regulations. Regulations in the sense that there are no financial regulators that are determining the rate at which it's to be sold at a particular time. It's just being determined by the forces of demand and supply. Forces of demand and supply in the sense that you and I, we get to hear today now that Bitcoin is now being sold for $36,000. Tomorrow, if it gets to $37,000, anyone also who actually wants to get rich quickly, they will quickly go and say, okay, let me also buy a chunk of this Bitcoin and see what my dollar will become tomorrow. That way, the same way that, it's also possible that there are some drivers behind this price going up. And at a point when they reach the level at which they want a lot of people to actually subscribe into it, then the people, it's something that has to do with electronics. So they can at the same time just push down the price, and before you know it, you lose a lot of money that you've invested into it. So that way, for me, I will say it's a Ponzi scheme because it's not being regulated either by the International Monetary Fund or by the World Bank. No, because even the World Bank and IMF, they kick against it. So it's not even the Central Bank of Nigeria at some point through the Senate also raised an alarm that they don't advise any citizen in this country to go into it. So as far as I'm concerned, of course, it's a Ponzi scheme to me.
I think that it may be reaching to say it's a Ponzi scheme or to classify it or loop it on the Ponzi schemes.
Well, it's a very
what you mentioned that it cannot be regulated and it's not controlled by anybody.
Yes.
That in itself, that particular reason is why it has gained worldwide acclaim. Because people are getting a little more wary of traditional banking and they're trying to explore options that do not have that regulation. Do you understand? Whereas the CBN can just stay somewhere and determine the value of Naira, determine the value of dollar. Bitcoin cannot be regulated, and that in itself is the catch. Do you understand? Because your fate lies in your hands. Because it has economic value and cannot be regulated, it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. It cannot be managed, but it has economic value, meaning that it is dependent on the law of demand and supply. Do you understand? So that in itself puts it in a bracket that most other currency cannot hope to.
Yeah,
do you understand? So it might be a reach to say it's a Ponzi scheme. It's not. You cannot regulate it, yes, but Ponzi schemes, Bitcoin, maybe not in the same bracket.
Exactly. I think that's the same thing. I feel because saying that it's a Ponzi scheme is, I don't think Bitcoin can fall under. So take for instance, during the protest, and people were actually like paying in Bitcoin, you get, as like with every other currency. And so when they were giving like a breakdown of the money received, they were giving breakdown of Naira, dollars, and Bitcoin. So I don't think it is a Ponzi scheme. I think it would probably fall under, maybe if you wanted to loop it with any other like easy investment umbrella, well probably you get, but the closest maybe forex trade, but not Ponzi scheme.
You can at the same time you cannot classify it as crypto. You mentioned forex. No, it's not at all.
No.
Okay, so talking about the right way to invest, would you say that Bitcoin is a right way to invest? Would you say it is a safe way to invest?
Well, for me, like I mentioned, and I still hold to my thought that it's not the best or the right way to invest. There are other ways with which you can invest your money. You know, there's this saying that you put your money where your mouth is. If you put your money into Bitcoin, that means your mouth is not there. If anything should happen to that mouth, you can get it cut off or tear off. So, as far as I'm concerned, it's not the right way to invest. The right way to invest, you can look at you having to invest into real estate investment, because when you look at a real estate investment, okay, let's take Nigeria for example. We have a population of over 200 million Nigerians, and if you still look at the housing home units that different developers in this country have been able to come up with, it still have not reached 200 million units of all the Nigerian citizens that we have, which means we still have a lot of Nigerians that are still having to suffer from not having a roof over their head. And there are a lot of people that are doing different businesses that are also salary earners. Like we have some salary earners too that are earning over 12 million naira per annum. And if you look at their lifestyle, they don't even have a place to have a roof over their head. They are still paying rent. So, which is why I will say a real estate property investment is also a way to look into, because there are a lot of real estate investment now they are now doing. You contribute a certain amount. For example, as now you can contribute as much as low as 5 million naira to own a part of Lagos. And within a period of 6 to 12 to 18 months, you'd also have a roof over your head. And this is not something that is difficult, because there are other ways with which you can finance it. So for me, real estate is a very good way to invest into. Stock is also a good way. Mutual benefit is also a good way. But when you look at the one that will give you a capital appreciation, that will give you a means of cash flow, and the one that would also give you a return on your investment, I would say real estate investment is a way to look into for the right way to invest.
From Tolu, what do you think Bitcoin is a safe way to invest?
Okay, so I think that we need to move the conversation around investment from bad, worse, good, safe to what is the right way for you. Right way for you, meaning that investments are very relative. It's relative to what you're looking for. It's relative to your risk appetite. It's relative to
how much money you even have to.
Do you understand? It's relative to the amount of money that you have. So for instance, if you are looking for short-term investment, you definitely do not want to consider some options. You are not, if you're looking for long-term investment, then you think real estate, for instance. Okay. But more to the point, we need to move away from telling people, don't do this, it's bad for you, it's not good. Because from looking at human nature over time, we've seen repeatedly that the second you tell people don't do this, they want to do it. True. So that is why it is a cardinal rule in real estate to diversify your options. When you diversify your investment portfolio, you can create opportunities or investment brackets that satisfies your short-term longings, that satisfies your long-term longings, that satisfies the quick cash flow, right? Okay. So a good way to look at it would be, okay, my investment portfolio, I want the get rich quick scheme. Yeah. You can create an avenue for that, and then you can look long term, and you can look middle term, you can look short term. You can have all of these investment options and create a portfolio, just so that you get the best of everything, so you don't feel like you're losing out on some. Okay. Now more to your question, when you say is Bitcoin safe, I like the word safe. When you say is it safe for investment? So we need to clarify something first. Bitcoin is not investing. Sorry, it's not an investment. At best, using Bitcoin trading cryptocurrencies, it's a speculation. And the reason I say that is this: there's a very big difference between speculating and investing. Investing, on the one hand, means that your principal is safe, right? And you have a sure word that you get some money back, right? But speculating, on the other hand, says, okay, I'm not particularly sure of my principal, but I'll do it anyway because this and this and this is happening. Do you understand what I'm saying? So that assurance is not speculating, investing, they're different. Yeah. So Bitcoin is more speculative than the other. Do you understand what I mean? Yeah. So because of that singular point, is it safe? So safe is not the word that you want to ascribe to Bitcoin. Okay. Does it have high return on investment? Maybe. Will it give you cash flow? Maybe. But safe? Maybe not. Which is why when it comes down to safe investment that gives you the best return on investment and that gives you cash flow at the same time, you want to use real estate. Real estate edges against all of those risks that Bitcoin proposes. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to throw this question open. there's a lot of people have the mindset that for you to be able to invest, oh my god, you have to be making so much money, you have to be making 10 million, or who can invest? That is the question. Who can invest? Can everyone invest? Or like you said, it has to do with like your risk appetite and like the kind of investment you're looking for. For real estate in particular now, who are the type of people that can invest, or do you think real estate is for everybody?
Yes, so first of all, one of the downsides or a potential downside of real estate that discourages a lot of people is that it can be capital intensive, right? But that in itself is almost a given, because one of the rules in investment states high risk, high return, low risk, low return, right? Okay. So if you have that in mind, it already gives you an idea of what to expect. You want to get the best from real estate, you want to invest more, right? Okay. So there are different investment options in real estate. There's commercial real estate, yes. There's rental income. There's you probably want to do sublets. There's industrial real estate. There's a lot, okay. And these options can be influenced by how much you have and how much risk you're willing to take. So there's a chance for everyone that has money.
Okay.
There's a chance for everybody that has some money. Now, ordinarily, typically, if you want to invest in real estate, the best way to do it is you want to sink in money that you don't need for the next 10 years or 15 years. So the people that will get the best from real estate are people who are willing to invest some money and look away from it for at least 10 to 15 years. So the question is, are you in that bracket? If you are in that bracket, then you should be investing in real estate because you are the best, you are the best persons to invest in that. Yeah.
Okay, what's your take?
Yeah, I think to buttress Tolu's point, she's actually on point on the question of who and who can actually invest into real estate, because investment is something that has to do with people's appetite and people's averse for taking risk. A lot of people who have the money but at the same time who could not actually think of having to invest into real estate because of the time span with which they can have returns for their investment. But for some, they will want to invest into something now and which would also bring back money for them on the immediate, which is why we actually have to talk about the Bitcoin and Ponzi scheme before we go into the greater deal of having to talk about real estate. Real estate is for people that are committed, people that can have the mind to say, okay, in another 5-10 years, I will definitely start to have returns for my money. Or for people who are actually thinking to hold their money in value for them in another years to come. Because the great deal about real estate investment is that I can tell you, if you buy a home for $150,000 today, and in another 1 year or 2 years to come, there is something in finance that we call the time value of money, which means that the time value of money that is $50 today is not $100 in another 1 year to come, which also means that in the cost of having to put that structure into places, the cost at which you built it is not the cost at which you will get it next year. So it then means that your assets will definitely increase in value in another 1 year. So for people who actually wants to hold their money in value appreciation in a year, 2-3 years to come, those are the people that can actually invest in real estate business.
I had a question.
Okay.
Right. How do you balance, going off of what like Faith said, the question that she asked in the first place, how do you balance a not so buoyant income with wanting to buy real estate? So say for instance, somebody is earning about 180K in a month, right? And I want to buy property, but unlike like what Tolu said, I don't have money to put aside for 10 years and remove my eye from it. Like I will be there. It's 150K. I'm not Bill Gates.
Okay.
But I want to buy property. So how do you balance? How much could I possibly set aside every month that will get me to the capital, because she was right in saying that real estate is capital intensive. I cannot buy it unless you have asked for 20 from me.
Okay.
I can't afford.
Okay.
So how do you balance it? You know.
Okay, your question is a very good and a valid one indeed. I would want to give you a scenario, and this scenario is a personal experience. Personal experience in the sense that there is no amount of money you may be making or earning as a salary earner that you cannot still own a real estate. The question is, how do I mean? First, in personal finance, there is this principle that we call you must always save 10% of whatever comes into your hands. So which means there is no amount of money that is coming into your hands that you cannot save, regardless of whatever the economy is saying. That's number one. Two, take for instance my own mom. When I was growing up, she was a trader, and today she lives in her own home. How does that happen? Now, there is what we call cooperative society. Cooperative society in the sense that you can belong to a particular cooperative society on which you now be doing a voluntary savings, because it's not everybody that would have that willingness to say, okay, on a monthly basis I'll set aside a 10% of my money. Practically, it's not easy that way. But if you join a society whereby you can be saving money like that, the pool of money you have saved with that cooperative society, of my dad's late memory, the property he has in Ikorodu today was gotten through that cooperative society.
Like a job.
Yes, you don't know about cooperative society. Cooperative society. Yes, so that way you can definitely have a real estate, in the sense that it is the same cooperative society that will acquire the property on your behalf and have it handed over to you. Or another way, they acquire the property and then they will continue to make a cash flow of income from it, and then at the end of their annual general meeting of the society, they will share an amount to all the members of the society. That way, it's very possible and easy for anybody willing. I'll state that on the line. Anybody willing. For those who are not willing, you will always have to give one reason or the other for you not to invest, regardless of whatever amount you are in. Yes, I don't know.
I'd like to chip in something. So you made a valid point with the whole cooperative bit. Another thing, and coming back to what we do here at Landway, we are proposing, we started something like that before, but there were some issues with the logistics of it. But we are looking to do and initiate it again in 2021. And it's basically crowd ownership. A group of people coming together to co-fund a real estate project. Right? So you don't have 5 million, you don't have 50 million, but you can be a part of a group of people, 50 people are, buying, co-funding. Yeah. So when, the only catch might be that the title deed on the property might be done in the name of a group. So you may have to come together as a group. So when that title has been transferred to you, then you can start making money. So again, how do you make money from real estate? You can make money via rental income, using it as Airbnb. You can decide to flip your property, do you understand, and sell at current market value, right? You can do all of that. But when you're doing that, you're doing it as a group. Do you understand? So you don't have a lot of money now, Yvonne. You don't have a lot of money now. You can join a group of people that have...
Sorry, I'm ready to do the quick math in my head. Wait. So if I get like 20 friends now, and we bring money together, we can buy the property, right? The title deed will have all our names on it.
Of course.
Right. How much? Shortly.
How much?
I don't... What? We'll talk about that later. I'm already cutting out my head.
That's actually how to definitely kickstart it, because you have to look at, okay, the property we are looking at, what is the what? Now, how long will it take us to, pull the funds together? That way, okay, 4 years, 5 years, okay, on a monthly basis, in a year we have just 12 months. Now, okay, this pool of funds, for instance, we are looking at 10 million naira. 10 million naira divided by 5, we are looking at 5 years, that's 2 million. 2 million divided by 12 in a month. That means you are looking at how much less than, in fact, That's less than 25,000 naira on a monthly basis. So that way, it's possible. It's just that you have to be committed and then put your mind to it and then be focused.
Yeah, my
and
friend,
it
I'm coming
requires
for
a
you.
great deal of
We're buying
discipline.
property together. I'm going to plenty friends. It's fine. You just go and be useful, please. No, but actually, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense.
Right.
Yeah.
I actually just want to say, like, I know, like, we're talking and dwelling on real estate. I want people to have in mind that, okay, if I'm buying real estate, I'm making the right decision. Like, what edge does real estate have over other investment plans, other investment options?
Okay, so one of the quality that real estate offers over other investment brackets is safety, right? Security.
Okay.
Yes, it's safety, it's in its security. It's security and it's in its quality of being, it's can be relevant over different market periods, right? It's going nowhere, right? Especially now, thinking about it, like I said before, there are different real estate investment options. Some people invest in buildings, some people invest in land, some people invest in industrial and all of that. It is important to note that each of these options, you need to know exactly what you're aiming to get. Again, like I said before, from experience, land, that's land in itself, just land, has the, how do I put it, is the safest, like it's the safest of the real estate options. It's safest in the sense that one of the cons, I use the word carefully, of investing in real estate as being purported to be the high cost of maintenance. Now, this cost of maintenance is not necessarily monetary. It's just the effort that you expend in maintaining your property. You have to keep an eye out on it and all of that. But when you're investing in land, you don't have such squabbles. Do you understand? You can leave it and be on your way. Do you understand? Now, another good thing about investing in land over maybe buildings, for instance, is that for people who are considering flipping their properties, if you have to flip a house and flip a land, you probably be getting better returns on your land. The reason for that is this: when you buy a home today, say you buy a 3-bedroom, for instance, it is designed at current market trends. The furnishings, everything is, we use the current. When you want to sell it in 10 years' time, it's possible that that's not the up-to-date furnishing. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that in itself, puts a cap on how much you can flip your home in future. Do you understand? Okay. But when you come to land is land. Especially landway land, where our locations are strategically positioned in the sense that, for instance, we're taking advantage of the growing Lagos, the new Lagos, which starts from Ibrahim Adesoya down to Epe. These areas have the most, the appreciation potential is, it takes you from a 0 to 100 real quick. So if you want to flip land in these regions, for instance, you buy a land for 25 million, say 7 months ago. 7 months down the line, you want to sell. You find out that you can get an extra 10 million, an extra 8 million. You understand? In so short a time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Now imagine that you may not be able to do that for a building, but you can do that with land. So lands are more fluid. They are more flexible. They are solid, but they are flexible. Do you understand? And they give you like a quick and safe return.
Yeah, I was talking about safe. Do you have something to say about that?
Yeah, I think she had said everything, but when she mentioned the issue of security, it's also a means of, it's a secured way to invest, in the sense that if you have a property in housing or land, at the end of the day, if you are thinking of having to probably go into another business and probably you are short of fund, you need a means to raise fund to fund your business, you can as well approach the bank and then use the same property as a collateral, which can also give you an access to fund. So it's a sure way to invest, in as much as you can be committed and then be so patient that at so point in time, this is what I'll get. And she also mentioned about, it's also, you can also flip your property in land. Land today is not the same in tomorrow or another 3 years to come, which means you have capital appreciation on it. So it's a very good way to actually invest your money into.
Maybe can I add something to what you said?
Okay.
So why invest in real estate? Why is real estate better than a host of other options? Nigeria currently we're experiencing an economic crisis. Naira devaluation is alarming, right? Now a lot of very savvy investors are looking for the best way to hedge against this inflation, this devaluation. And over time, real estate has always offered the opportunity, that opportunity. So real estate is one of the best instruments to hedge against, inflation, devaluation. And why is that? You buy a land today, you buy it $35,000. If you come next year, if you want to sell at $60,000, you're selling at current market value.
Exactly.
In the process, nothing has happened to your land. What has happened is that it has only appreciated. There's no depreciation. Do you understand? As opposed to other investment instruments that are affected by market dynamics. Do you understand? So real estate is a whole lot safer and better because it is not affected by current economic crisis. You can use it to hedge against inflation. So that's probably one of the reasons why our products, a lot of people took advantage of our products during this pandemic season. A lot of people had cash in their hands and they were looking for how can I quickly, because a lot of things was happening with the dollar, with the naira. People were very keen on protecting the integrity, the value of their money, and a lot of people were keen into our products. Do you understand? So real estate is good because it helps you to.
Great. Yvonne, do you have any contributions or a question?
I was just here, like just absorbing,
right?
All the knowledge and all the wisdom, because
it's a lot.
Yeah, it is. Like I need to go and jot things down, and so I won't forget it. But I think I would agree with Tolu in that. I think that if I had the money to invest at the moment, I think I'd probably go for land. For all the reasons that she gave, but mostly because for the whole flipping reason. Okay. So I have really keen interest in interior design and stuff, and I know that the value of the interior of your house has a major part to play when you want to resell. So say for instance, the design is great now, it's in vogue now, but say you want to sell in the next 20 years. You have two options. It's either you put a cap on the money you want to sell it at, or you invest money into redoing your house to match the current trend and then sell at current market value. But I think that if I had money to invest, I'd probably do land and then with land you can also get rental income. So you can lease your land out, for instance, either for agricultural purposes or for people that want to, by agriculture I mean either you're farming or fish farming. You can lease it out to business owners. So there are these really great inventions. I don't call them an invention, but I don't know if you've seen them, container buildings. So say for instance somebody that wants to do a restaurant. Now I want to do the whole container thingy, but I don't have land. You can lease out your land to this person for the next 3 or 5 years. They're getting rent per month, per year, however it is. You don't even have to put in that much into maintaining the land as such, because the business owner owes it to their business to maintain the land. You get, and you're getting rent, and in the next couple of years your land has gone up by some insane percentage, and then you just resell you don't stress. So I think altogether real estate takes the cake for safest. I think safest being the operative word here. Yeah, it is actually the safest because there's no land. Even I know that this is the real Lagos. I'm sorry, the new Lagos. But even with places so my dad has land house in Akute, and I know Akute is technically Ogun State. Yeah. And when he bought the house, he bought a plot, or when he bought the land rather, he bought a plot of land at 220k. That was 2004. As at last year, one plot of land in the same Akute is about 10 million. Did you get? So real estate will always appreciate, always appreciate. So for safest, I think definitely is the safest. Yeah, it has its cons-ish, but it is by far the safest. It's the safest.
All right, we've heard so much on the show today, lots of information, but just something to, you know, as the icing on the cake, what is the right way to invest in real estate? Tolu, can you help me with that?
Yes, what is the right way, particularly more to the point, what is the right way for you to invest in real estate? So, like Yvonne mentioned, you can invest in land, you can invest in houses, you can invest in industrial real estate, commercial real estate. Now, Yvonne has already gone over how to explore and take advantage of investing in land. I would like to quickly buttress about how you can. So when you invest in land, you're investing in the future. It's more futuristic than any other real estate investment option, in the sense that to get the best from your land investment, you need to leave it for a while so that you can get the most. Yeah, but you're probably thinking, in the meantime, in the short run, what short-term return on investment can I get from investing in real estate? This is where houses come in. So when you invest in, for instance, Landway, we have a project at Abraham Adesoya. Our homes are typically can be ready in 6 months, right? If you get your home delivered to you in 6 months, it means then that you can start recouping some money back immediately after your home has been delivered to you. So immediately you can put it up for rent, and we can help you with that to help you put it up for rent. You put it up for rent, or you put it up as a sublet unit or Airbnb. You find out that immediately, within a space of 1 year, you can immediately get, you know, returns on your investment. So again, it's up to you. What's the right way for you? The right way for you is the way, the method, the option that closely satisfies your needs at the moment. If you're looking for short-term investment in real estate, you probably want to buy a home. If you're looking for safest and long-term, and you're willing to wait long-term, yeah, to get your money back, you probably want to invest in land. So like we said, it is up to you. What are you looking for? The right way is the one that suits you.
All right, guys, you've heard so much from the show. We actually dissected this topic, talking about the right way to invest. Now, I would like to hear from you guys in the comment section. What is the right way for you? Are you going short term or are you going long term? Also, remember to follow us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, YouTube, and on Facebook to get more information on investments about landway and real estate. Thank you guys so much for watching. Till we see you next time, we are the Real Hope team. Bye for now.